brilliant qualifying campaign, but of course we have seen that on many occasions in the past. Aston has texted, he said, I thought the England game was brilliant last night, although I didn't think Eze got into the game at all. I thought it was a good game as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And Aston, I agree with you. I didn't think that Eze got into the game at all either. Let's get more on all of this with the man who's followed England every step of the way. talkSPORT's voice of live football, Adrian Durham. Morning, Aid.
Good morning, Adrian.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, we're good, mate. We're good. Look, Thomas Tuchel, he rang the changes before this game. Who do you think improved their claims for a place on that World Cup flight, and who did themselves no good?
It's a great question. Eze, you're right, didn't really get into it as I expected him to get into it. After scoring such a great goal on Thursday at Wembley, I thought his confidence will be high. He'll be able to replicate that and go on with a start for England and show up really well. That didn't really happen. I don't think he was particularly bad, but he wasn't as bright and enterprising as we probably hoped he would be. At the back, I thought it was really interesting. Dean Henderson kept a clean sheet for the first time and actually came out and made a great tackle to stop a goal for sure. But that back four, back three, whatever it was in the first half, turned into a back four in the second half. It didn't really work. John Stones was the experienced leader there. Dan Burn at centre-back I don't think was particularly impressive. Nico O'Reilly was really good for somebody who's inexperienced. He may even have made the left-back slot his own. And then at right-back, I thought we had one or two problems, and Reece James is probably going to fill that spot if fit come the World Cup. Overall, I thought it was a patchy performance from England. They got the win, they got the clean sheet, so the record's set. But it was a patchy performance that didn't fill me with much hope, to be honest.
Adrian, won every game in qualifying, not conceded a goal. I said earlier to Jeff, in March, I would love to see this team go and play a top team, a Brazil, a Spain, France, Argentina, whoever it is, and see how they get on. What do you think, mate? Do you think that will be the right decision? Because Jeff felt that if you did play one of those top teams, it didn't go your way, it could ruin morale.
Yeah, I think there's valid points made by both of you. I personally would like to see them play a top team. I'm not entirely convinced it's going to happen. The highest ranked team we've played so far under Thomas Tuchel in this year, 2025, has been Senegal, and they got beaten quite comfortably. It was a poor performance. It was what you might argue wasn't England's strongest side, but potentially a side by and large that could feature at a tournament if we've got suspensions and injuries. So it was a poor performance. I think if we play a strong team, it's going to at least get close to where we might have to be performance level wise if we are to go deep into the World Cup. So I see valid points that both of you are making. I'd rather we face a top team and get our standards up a little bit higher before the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, there's talk of Uruguay and Japan. Uruguay obviously would be a typical sort of South American challenge. Yes. Look, here's a really simplistic question, Aid. I'm sorry about this, but in terms of number 10 shirt, how does the pecking order go at the moment? Rodgers, Bellingham, Palmer, Foden. What's the 1, 2, 3, 4?
It's a great question, but I am used to your simplistic questions, Jeff. Don't worry, we're all used to them. I would say Morgan Rodgers just about holds it at the moment. Me personally, I would prefer Jude Bellingham to have the shirt. I think he's just a far better player. I love Morgan Rodgers. He hasn't done anything wrong. I think Cole Palmer's struggling to get on the plane, if I'm honest. I've thought this for a while now. He's played 64 minutes under Thomas Tuchel, and he was terrible, as was everybody else, in the away 1-0 win against Andorra. That's all Thomas Tuchel's seen of him. So if it's picked tomorrow, the squad, obviously it isn't, but if it was picked tomorrow, Cole Palmer doesn't get in. Even if he gets back fit, he's still got a bit to prove come those March friendlies. So he's not been part of the group, and he's big on the group being together, Thomas Tuchel. I think we'd all agree that's a good thing. And he hasn't seen him play. In the back end of last season, Cole Palmer wasn't great. He has flashes, he has moments. I'm not convinced he's going to be at the World Cup. I think Phil Foden is way ahead of him. I thought Phil Foden has done okay in the two games we've just had, coming on as a sub. He's not moaned about that. He's not had a strop. He's looked bright in the warm-up. He's not had shoulders slumped and been moany. And he's actually looked bright when he's come on. So I think Phil Foden is some way ahead of Cole Palmer right now. Chelsea fans might not like that, but I think that's the reality.
Adrian, every time England play now, it's going to be what did Jude Bellingham do? What didn't he do? The media this morning and after the game, of course, looking at did he throw his arms up when he got told he was coming off? Did he slump on the bench? Is Thomas Tuchel happy with that? Should he be going because of how his attitude can be? For me, I didn't see a problem with it, but there's some people that do. What do you think, mate?
Well, I think you're out of order for a start, because you're saying the media are making a big thing out of it. Thomas Tuchel himself said in the press conference, you know, we need to be as one. He said, you know, he doesn't want reactions like that. So that's down to him. That's down to the England manager. He could have squashed it all by just saying, well, he had to come off because he had a yellow card. That's it. And then behind closed doors, he could have said to Jude Bellingham, less of the arm waving, let's just get on with the football. Now, me personally, I think whenever I see Jude Bellingham play for England, all I see is 100%. I want our players to stay on the pitch. And I don't mean in terms of red cards. I want them to be upset when they're subbed off. I want them to say to the manager, I want to stay out here and score for England and do well for England. I want us to win this game comfortably. So I'm okay with what Jude Bellingham did yesterday. Others might not like it so much. But it does. Where you are spot on is it does feel that any little thing he does is picked on negatively. However, he does so many positive, good things. And he was one of my star players yesterday. He won the fans' player of the match. He was that good, Jude Bellingham. I mean, his energy at pressing, running the length of the pitch to create an opportunity where Declan Rice had mindlessly got himself offside, I thought was exemplary to the rest of the team. It was a proper leadership from Jude Bellingham. So I personally haven't got a problem with him. I'm not going to be picking on Jude Bellingham. I want him in the starting 11. I think he's terrific.
If you're a superstar, you come under the microscope. Ed, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Adrian.
And you know that, Jeff.
I was going to say the same thing to him. David says, let's get rid of Tuchel now. He's not English. Let's have reporters as our manager. It's just opinion, David. People have different opinions. It's as simple as that. And we've been talking about which of the big stars might miss out on the World Cup next summer. Adrian Durham fears for Cole Palmer. Let's take a quick call from Mark, who is a Chelsea fan. And because you're a Chelsea fan, Mark, I've got an idea where you're going to be coming from here. Morning, Mark.
Do you agree with Adrian, Mark?
Good morning, guys. It's got nothing to do with being a Chelsea fan. Cole Palmer was in the running for the Ballon d'Or. He's one of the best players in the world and recognised as such. But I've got a broader point to make, which is that there are going to be two major factors in this World Cup for players to deal with. One is going to be the appalling weather. I lived in the States for 15 years, and let me tell you, it is crushing at that time of year, number one. Number two, certain players are international. Certain players rise to the big occasions. Certain players don't. You know, we all love Saka. Well, I don't, but people love Saka, and he scored several goals for England. But the highest rated team in the world that he scored a goal for is 17th in the world. He scored a goal against Switzerland. How about taking a player who has not only proven that he can play in that crushing heat and win by scoring 2 goals in a World Cup final, albeit a Club World Cup final, but has also scored but is also, here's the kicker, but is also the only player in recent memory who has scored a goal in a final against the number 1 ranked nation in the world, Spain. I'm sorry, Foden. Show me Foden rising to the huge occasion. Another guy, nice flicks and tricks in Pep's disciplined system. As an international, everybody knows he's no international. To not take Palmer,
look.